Talk Brunch.
Everyone is new. Every champion is new.
Pretty much.
I'm still stuck here in shock, man. Like, we had our predictions. I mean, we were right about one of them. We were dead wrong about the other.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. UFC is white hot. UFC is white hot right now. It seems everywhere we go, everything that we're doing involving UFC has something really crazy happening in it. A new upset, a new champion. 2016 is going to be a year of new champs, man. It's a completely different era.
Mm-hmm. And unlike WWE, it's not a disappointment.
No,
the beauty of MMA.
Yeah, it really is. I love this sport. I really, really love this sport. So, co-main event, Chris Weidman, Luke Rockhold. This was quite the fight. I enjoyed what I saw here. What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, Weidman had Rockhold very early in the first round, but
yeah, with a Kimura.
Then, with the Kimura lock, and then Rockhold sort of got his bearings a little bit. He sunk him in with some what looked like a guillotine, but it was a guillotine. He didn't lock it in fully, but he gassed him out pretty much. So he gassed him out pretty good going into the second.
Yeah, he held that position for a while, but initially Rockhold didn't really have total control while he was there. The weird thing about it was Herb Dean stood them up. I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact.
But it was more of like, I get why he did it, because when Rockhold had him in the guillotine lock, he wasn't really doing anything. It was just like a rest hold. Like, they were both just there. Nobody was throwing punches. There was no attempt to go into another transition. So it's it's happened in the video games also, where if you're just laying there and you're not really doing anything but just shuffling on the ground, the referee will come in and break it up. And we've seen that happen in UFC in the past before.
Yeah, but you let them work in that hold a little bit. You know, you let them work through that position. I've seen a lot of other fights this night where people were on the ground for a lot longer durations before anything like that happened. It just felt really sudden. I hate to say it, but I just got the impression that they really didn't want Weidman not to be champion. There were a few other things that led me to believe that happened in the match. Like the stoppage is a little bit questionable. I mean, we'll get to that because I want to go into in depth into the rounds. But so round 2, Rockhold hurt Weidman with a strong right hand early in. There were a lot of good roundhouse kicks to the body from Weidman. Rockhold also had some vicious kicks, and Weidman took significant damage to his body and arms as a result of this.
Early on, he hit him with the head kick that, had he not blocked that, I think that would have been the end of the fight right there.
Yeah, and Rockhold was really good. You know, he had really strong offense. I was really surprised. I was wrong about this one because I went with Weidman, but Weidman
everybody went with Weidman because he was the undefeated champion.
Yeah, it was a toss-up to me, honestly. It looked like a toss-up going into it.
Well, at one point Weidman went for a big right hand and he found himself up against the fence because he completely missed. Familiar of something I've seen recently. And then after that, Weidman caught Rockhold with a kick to the body and hurt him, causing him to run away. It was literally what he did. You know, he had to do like a little retreat. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but it happens sometimes.
Yeah, you got to step back and catch your bearing, like look around and be like, all right, I know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, he was hurt.
What's the next way to approach this? What's the right way to approach this?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like round 3 starts and Weidman realizes like he's losing the fight. Herb Dean saved him in the first one. The clock saved him in the second one. He realizes more or less what Ronda didn't realize in her previous fight, that he was outmatched, that he couldn't stand toe with this guy, because Rockhold just kept checking him with those fucking kicks, with those, what were they called? The question mark kicks? And just like the straight, like the head kicks. Yeah. The takedowns weren't working at all. Yeah,
and Weidman was throwing a lot of kicks too, and then I think it was that wheel kick he did that fucked him over.
I mean, like I was watching it, and from what I gathered from it is Rockhold realized that once he kept throwing the kicks, he had the fight, and Weidman must have realized the same thing too, and he was like, I'm not gonna let him take me down with the kicks. So as round 3 started, if you notice, he tried to rush him right into the cage, because I guess he figured once he had him on the cage, he could get the takedown, and then he could work in a submission, which clearly didn't go in his favor.
Yeah, it really didn't. And Rockhold took him down and then got to a mount, and he basically was destroying this guy, man. Like, he was wailing on him left and right. And
do you know what that reminded me of? Have you ever seen the movie Irreversible with Monica Bellucci? they played the movie backwards, and pretty much the premises of the movie is she pretty much gets raped, and then the husband he's like on this whole warpath trying to like get to her killer, well, to get to the person who raped her. And one of the opening scenes is him taking a fire extinguisher and just pounding this guy's face in over and over and over inside of this club until it's like his skull is caved in. And that's pretty much what that looked like to me.
Yeah, it looked really rough. Weidman was a bloody mess. I wasn't expecting it. It went on really long. And that's the second questionable thing. This was the second time that I just felt like they didn't want Weidman to not be champ. The first was in that guillotine where they just stood him up really early. And then here it was like, man, you guys didn't stop this yet? Like, there was at least the last 10 seconds. If you go back and look at the last 10 seconds. Yeah. He wasn't defending himself anymore. I know he was during the last 30, but the last, I want to say 12, 10 seconds or so, he wasn't defending himself, and then it did look like Herb stopped it there.
It was right at the buzzer. He stopped it because Rockhold was just landing shot after shots. I mean,
just pummeling in his face.
Yeah, Weidman still had a guard in, but he was still landing in pretty significant shots, and right then and there, I think Herb should have definitely stopped the fight. There was no reason he stopped it.
I've seen fights end sooner than that, and it was like, he was guarding the face, but Rockhold was just catching him on the left and the right of his face, of his whole head.
The second you see Weidman not even trying to get some shots in, like not even really trying to like get him off him, trying to throw bombs in him. Like that's when you know this. Like there's nothing left. You should stop it.
Yeah.
Just because he's got a guard up doesn't mean. Just because you got a guard up doesn't mean, you know, he's still in it. Because he wasn't. No,
he took an unnecessary beating. When he stood up, he looked like a fighter on the second day.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Yeah, because like he stood up and it was like he pretty much wobbled back into his corner.
Yeah, that was rough. And then we get to round 4, and it starts with a lot of clenching going on in the beginning, and then Rockhold with the whole takedown, and Weidman was just clearly exhausted at this point, and he was just pounding him more on the ground.
And Weidman grabs the cage on the first one, and then there's like let go of the cage, and then when he lets go, he gets dropped on the second takedown attempt.
Yeah, and he was trying for that guillotine, but he didn't do anything while down there. He figured maybe lightning would strike twice, but it just didn't happen. Rockhold was trying for that side control, but he basically got that knee down, and he just destroyed him for the end. Mm-hmm. And we have a new champ thanks to that. I'm surprised. Rockhold's not to be underestimated, but I just didn't see it turning out that way. Really different, you know?
I mean, that's the thing about the UFC. Nobody's to be underestimated. Anybody can just like pop up and become the champion.
Yeah,
indeed. And then we had McGregor versus Aldo.
We did?
Did we?
Yeah, I don't know. I was sipping my drink, and when I looked up, it was over.
Shit.
Oh my god.
Man, I leave out the bathroom, fight just starts, and it's like I didn't even take a seat. The fight's over.
Yeah, they both connected with lefts, but someone was better than the others because Conor knocked him out cold and then hammer fisted him onto the ground.
I mean, he went out like a fighting champion. He got a punch in on the way down.
Yeah.
It's funny that you're saying that he went out like a fighting champion right when I was about to remind you that he was crying into his towel. You know, he wept into his towel.
I mean, I would have, you know what? I'm not a crier, but I probably would have did the same thing too. To go out there, you're at the main event of this fucking huge pay-per-view, and you get dropped, 5 seconds into the fight?
Yeah, not good.
That is the true definition of a flash KO.
Yeah, it was really bad. I didn't see it coming. When you look at it in the replay, he really just did him in with that hit. He went face first down. It was a 13-second fight. They broke Ronda's record.
It's bad because we can't even make jokes about it, like how when Ronda used to beat people in like 13 seconds and whatnot, and we used to throw out a bunch of jokes. Like, I can't even think of any jokes for this because of how fast it ended.
Yeah, no, I haven't had time to think. We came right on here when this was done, guys. If anything, we'll see you on Monday with our full analysis of the other matches and a little bit more elaborate. We'll discuss this entire situation that went on here. But wow, that was really
pretty hard to discuss the entire situation.
Yeah.
Like the Weidman match, yeah, but this, no.
You can tell Aldo got psyched out, though.
Yeah, he did. But let's talk a little bit about the post. Because basically, I like the fact that Joe Rogan asked Jose Aldo, how much, if any, of the fight can you remember? And then Salty Aldo, he says it wasn't a fight, and then Rogan says it was a fight, just one that happened and ended quickly. You know, I just like how fast
he immediately calls for a rematch, and you know what? I guess he is inclined to rematch, especially going down in that sort of fashion. But he is very salty about this whole thing.
Well, that's exactly what McGregor said he was going to do, though. You know, that's exactly what McGregor said.
You dropped me in 5 seconds. Shit, I'd be pissed off too.
5 seconds.
He came
I like to drop
exactly...
cartoon references. I think back to that King of the Hill episode when they were doing the Olympic torch thing, and Hank finally gets the Olympic torch and he fucking drops it as soon as he turns the corner.
Oh, wow! You see, that's rough. 5. But yeah, that's what really happened here. It went down, and it went down hard. Unfortunately, it's very unfortunate that it went that way. But he was very salty at the end to say that it wasn't a fight, because it damn sure was a fight. You don't land like that from nothing, and he was bleeding afterwards. If it wasn't a fight, what happened to you?
He is.
And of course, we're gonna have, and our UFC listeners are very aggressive, so of course we're gonna have people that are gonna be pissed off and at the fact that we're saying this and say that you know, it was a lucky hit or who knows what kind of nonsense. But hey, listen, man, I don't know if there's that much luck, because Conor McGregor said before the fight that the left hand was gonna knock him out, and it did. He prophesized that shit. He's a Nostradamus of UFC right now. Sorry.
I'm gonna agree with Aldo in his comment of it wasn't a fight, because it really wasn't a fight.
It was a squash.
You can't say it was a one-sided beating, because like I said, they both threw punches. It's just like you just got rocked.
Yeah, it was definitely
plain and simple,
a squash.
Cleanly. Like Rogan said, no controversy.
They got rocked. Aldo.
It happens.
They jobbed Aldo to McGregor. Messed up.
I mean, I don't think in the history of UFC I've seen it happen that fast, but it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does.
This fight wasn't fixed, folks.
Tell that to Taz.
Yeah, Taz and other one who must not be named. This fight was not fixed. Josie got dropped.
Yeah, it wasn't a work. You know, we have those people out there. It wasn't a work.
He didn't take a dive. No.
Aldo ain't going to do no movies.
Nope.
He's clearly not going to be in the live action version of One Punch Man.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
See, you gave it time. I'm gonna slowly roll them out.
Man, I wish I had more to say. I feel like we should talk about more. We could play that game again. What can be done in 13 seconds besides knocking out Jose Aldo? That's the same
I can
question.
tell you one thing that can't be done. I can't finish my drink.
Oh, yeah, me neither. Can you make a Pop-Tart? 13 seconds.
I can't even make a Pop-Tart now.
There's nothing that goes in the microwave that takes 13 seconds, right?
Nah.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I guess not even if you want to quickly defrost some bacon. Like, no, not even 13 seconds.
So let's move away from food a little bit here. What can you do in 13 seconds?
If you have a small bladder, you can take a piss.
I don't think so. 13 seconds would never work for me, man.
No, man.
I get really happy when we hit that one big commercial break on Raw, the one around 9:30. I'm always waiting for it. Sometimes I'll be like 9:19. I know what you guys are gonna do.
It's coming. I know it's coming.
Fuck, like you can't even put on your socks that fast.
None of our councils boot up in 13 seconds.
Oh no. No.
My phone might do 13 seconds. I don't even think my phone would do 13 seconds though, actually.
Yeah, shit. Like the loading screen on Fallout 4 isn't even 13 seconds. When you go from like the outside to the inside of a building.
Bray Wyatt's entrance video.
What, the part when he used to go like, Boston, we're here.
Yeah.
So you could blow out a lantern in 13 seconds.
We found something.
No, we didn't find anything because we've once again come full circle. All we know now is that you could put someone's lights out in 13 seconds.
Oh shit.
We're right back where we started.
If I got up from the seat where I was sitting right now, I could walk in, take off the light, and get back to my seat in less than 13 seconds.
We're gonna have to test this. So yeah, people listening to this, even the salty ones that hate us now, send in your suggestions. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter.
You're not helping when you make comments like that.
Yeah, but send in your suggestions of what could we do in 13 seconds. You could get pissed at this entire conversation in 13 seconds, right? Not even.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I bet you were gonna get a comment. They're probably not gonna send it now because I'm saying it on air. But you were gonna get a comment that goes, "You could shut down Talk Brunch in 13 seconds."
You can lose to John Cena in 13 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
See, I can't even see. I can't. I'm just.
You know what's bad? Like how Austin has his Austin 316 and like they're trying to do Sheamus 515. We can't even do like a McGregor 1 or 5 or 3 anything. It would have to be McGregor 15 second.
If McGregor 15 seconds says, "I just knocked your ass the fuck out." See, that was almost no. That was
you can't even have the cool number graphic unless you put like McGregor 0.15
or Aldo 015.
Yeah.
Well, he had a good career though. He had a great streak, right?
He definitely did. Like, not to shit on the guy completely. He went how many years without being knocked out or defeated?
All jokes aside, the guy's a highly celebrated champion, and he was a badass, of course. But I got to give credit here. You know, McGregor did what he said he was going to do, and it's just that simple. That's all she wrote. He wants the rematch. I don't know. Not when it went the way that it did. You got to work your way up now.
I mean, I get where he feels entitled to the rematch because, again, it goes back to how many years he's been, like, on top of his game. But it just looks bad when you get dropped that easily. The question goes back to, why should we give you a rematch? And I get people can argue and be like, clearly it was a lucky punch. But it's like, come on, man. Maybe it's time to, dare I say it, bow out gracefully.
He still has fights left in him. I don't think that this is the last
definitely. This is not like, oh, you just lost this fight. Like, get out. I don't want to see you anymore. But
McGregor is an animal. McGregor's a wild
McGregor
animal.
is definitely an animal. If these guys face off again, dare I say, it could be Shamrock versus Ortiz all over again.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. This is a good time to be a UFC fan. It definitely is. A lot of crazy stuff going on. You know, I marathoned all 12 episodes of The Ultimate Fighter and then watched the finale.
You're insane.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm up to date on everything going on in the UFC, and I did it because I was that much in anticipation of this pay-per-view that I wanted to be up to speed on everything. I knew that Jose Aldo showed up in the middle of The Ultimate Fighter, and so did TJ Dillashaw, and there was a whole bunch of back and forth with him and Uriah Faber. We'll talk about that on the main show tomorrow, though, because I have a lot to say about it. But overall, it was worth it to just sit and then finally experience this. This is a great time for the sport, and whoever you were rooting for, I'm sure this was a blast. There's been nothing but upsets and craziness, and that's what really this is all about, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's why we love it.
Yeah. So,
because boxing is fucking boring. It's fucking shit.
Any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
I don't even know what to say.
It all happened so fast. I threw a punch and then I woke up and it was over. Nah,
I heard that before.
Yeah, well, my Pop-Tart is almost ready, so I'm gonna go and take care of that.
You for real? You made a Pop-Tart?
On that note, we're out of here.
See ya.
Later.
Alright guys, you've just listened to the Talk Brunch second serving. For more content, including full episodes, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and show us some love on Facebook. Talk Brunch, now served on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, and SoundCloud. TalkBrunch.com, served hot.